All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And I'm going through a series of payroll programs to demonstrate the stuff, at least in the first few chapters of our Gaddis Java book. I've added another folder, payroll number 02B. I've closed the project that was up and running, and I'm going to start a new one. All right, so create a new project. You know the drill by now. Make sure Java is set. Next. No templates, next. The location, I've saved that, and I'll keep it at payroll number 02B, which is fine. Click Finish. Bring this up, right mouse click on the source folder, choose New Java Class. This again will be edu.rankin.jpscott.payroll with a big P. Okay. There it is. And to try to save a little bit of time, I think I've got virtually everything right here. No, I didn't. Okay. Get rid of that. All right. I saved my last program, so I can just, again, make some changes to it so I don't have to constantly have you here watching me type, which I think is kind of a waste of both our time here. So here it is. So I'm going to grab everything in main, copy it to the clipboard, and paste it in. So now, essentially, I've got the same program as before. I'm not going to use the scanner, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to get rid of this to start with. All right. Now, this time, just to show you that I can manually type in stuff, I'm going to type in here import javax.swing.jOptionPane. And we'll put in here used for show input dialog and show message dialog. Kind of a long comment, but that's fine. All right. Okay, so this is still all fine the way it is, all of this stuff. But one thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to add a couple of extra variables here. I'll add them to the bottom so you can see the new variables. All right, the first one, it's going to be a string. I'm going to call it input str. Just meaning that it's an input string. And I'm going to set it equal to the empty string. All right. And that will literally just be a temporary input string. And since I've got an input str, I'm also going to make an output str. All right. So that'll be my temporary output string. All right. I can do it. There are different ways that I can do this. This is just the way that I chose to do it. All right. So now what I want to do is I'll be able to use a lot of the stuff that's in here, but for now I'm going to comment it all out. All right. So and I'll bring it back in as I need to. Okay? But you notice I get this error because I'm not using that anymore. So now what I'll do is I'll say first name equals jOptionPane dot show input dialog, and I want it to say please enter first name. Okay? And note the difference now when I save and run this. So file, save all, run payroll. Since it's a new file, I have to tell it again which one I want it to run. So there is my please enter first name. Jeffrey. Notice now it's still got Jeffrey in there. Okay? So I'm not going to keep doing this one line at a time like I did it before. Instead, let's see. Let's try to see if we can send this one back to a char. Now that's going to give us some problems until I fix this. All right. So this will now be, oh, I don't need that system.out.print anymore. That's why I was getting the thing on the bottom here. All right, so now I should be able to say this. Now, you'll notice it doesn't like this because it's expecting it to be a string, and I've set it's of type char. All right, so the easiest way to fix that is to just send this back to a string again. Sorry about that. And make this double quote, double quote. That'll fix everything. All right, so this is please enter middle initial. And while we're doing it, let's just get rid of, put in the one here for last name, and put a comment back in here. All right. So please enter first name. I'm just going to copy all this because I just want to change it from first to last. All right. So let's take a look at what it looks like right now when we run it. So File, Save All. Let's go down to here and let's clear this out. Run payroll. And you'll notice that when we run it, sooner or later we're going to have our box up here that's going to ask us for our first name. Why that's so small, I don't know. But Jeffrey, middle initial P, last name Scott, and you'll see that that's all filled out. The rest has just the default values. All right. I wanted to stop it right there because now it's going to change a little bit. Because you'll notice age, all right, age is a Boolean. I'm sorry, age is a byte, is union is a Boolean, emp number is an int, hours worked and hourly rate are both doubles. So we can't do this because this is reading in a string. All right, but we can use that input string that we have. So what do I mean? It's easier to show you. So I'm going to say your input str equal and I'm just going to grab this, but I'm going to have to make changes to it. So for the next thing I want to put in there is what? I did the first name, middle, so it's the H. Please enter your age. All right, that'll work fine. But then I've got to say age. Remember, age is a byte equal I don't know if there's a byte dot. Yes, there is. Parse byte input str. Now this program will blow up if I don't put a byte value in there. Just so you know that. The program will blow up if I put in a non-byte, so something that's either less than -128 or greater than 127. All right, but just to show you, let's save all and let's run it again. In fact, let's come back down to here before we run it. Clear that out into a run payroll. enter your first name, Jeffrey, enter the middle initial P, enter the last name, Scott, enter your age, 61. And you'll notice all that stuff up to here is all filled in. The rest is all the default values. All right, let's again clear this. And we're going to be doing a similar type of thing now for the rest of these. So the age I can now get rid of. And now we can say, please enter union status. All right, and that'll be is union. I'm going to get an error because it's not of type byte. Now I don't know again, is there a Boolean dot parse Boolean? Yes, there is. Again, I'm learning along with you. All right. So, file, save all. This has been cleared. Bring it up so you can see everything. Run payroll. First name, Jeffrey. Middle initial P, last name Scott, age 61, union status. If I don't put in true or false here, the program will blow up. So I'm going to put in, actually the default was false, so I'll put in true. Just so you can see it. And you'll notice it now has true. Okay? Now let's do the next two, which will be or the next one, which is our employee number. Right? So again, I'm going to just copy this, paste it in down here. Trying to be a little smarter here. So that should allow us to put in our employee number. Let's again check it. And you can see all that stuff is put in here. So now what is left is not very difficult. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll leave this commented out, but I'm going to just take this and I'm going to put it in there. No, I only want it in there 2 more times, not 3 more. So, oh, I did want it in there that many times. I'm wrong. Okay, so now instead of the employee number, I'll want hours worked, and this will be hourly rate. Okay, this will give me an error when I first put it in, because this will have to be a double, dot parse double. Right, and just grab this, copy it, and change it from hours worked to hourly rate. All right, so now I think I've got everything in, except now I can remove my comment for my gross pay, and I don't need that comment. That should be everything. All right. Now, what's going to happen is it's all going to print out here and it's going to be correct. But then we will go and we will add a message dialog to print it out as well in just a minute. All right. So, let's do a file. Save all. Run payroll. Again, I should have cleared that, but I didn't. That's fine. Cleared now. First name. Let's try something new. Martha Stewart. I think I put Marth instead of Martha, but sorry. Well, Stewart. Her age, I don't know, 70. Her union status, false. Her employee number, 1. The hours worked, 30. The amount per hour is 100. And there it is. Okay. All right. That's all fine. There's only one extra thing that I want to do here. And that is, now that I've got all of this stuff, all right, I want to go and I want to build an output string and send all of that stuff. Yeah, it's fine to put it here, but I want to send it to a J option pane show message dialog. So I'm going to put in here output str plus equals, all right, and let's put in here first name, oops, plus first name plus \n. All right, so we're just going to build this thing incrementally. So we've got first name, there's the middle initial, here will be the last name, that was MI, I believe. This is, oops, I don't know what I did there. That should be last name. All right, looks good so far. What do we have left? Age, union, and employee number. Oops. Sorry about that. So I've got first name, middle initial. Whoop, I somehow lost last name. I don't know, maybe I never put it in. There's last name. Okay. Union employee number. Oh, there's last name. Okay, union employee number, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. First, middle initial, last name, current age. First, middle initial, last name, current age. Okay, union employee number. Union employee number, good. Hours worked and hourly rate here. This will be hourly rate. And then finally, gross pay. Oops, we'll put the dollar sign there too. All right, and this will say gross pay. I don't need that at the end now. All right. This is going to build an output string that I want to put into a dialog box. So instead of before, as we were using the J option show input dialog, now we want a J option pane dot show message dialog. You have to tell it where you want it to go. By default, if you put in null there, it'll put it in the middle of the screen. And output str. That should be everything. That should be everything in our program. And we're good for time. So let's do a file, save all, run payroll, enter the first name. This is going to be small again, Jeff. Whoops. I want to enter the first name, Jeffrey, middle initial P, last name Scott, age 61. We'll put the union status to true because it was defaulted to false. The number 24680. The hours worked 50. The hourly rate 50. There is our stuff. First name Jeffrey, middle initial P, last name Scott, current age 61, union status true. Employee number 24680. Hours worked 50, hourly rate 50, gross pay 25. All right. And you'll also notice that if you look down here, after I close that, after I close it, now what you'll see is down at the bottom, there it all is too. All right. So, what was different in this particular program? Well, I had a different import statement. In the previous program, I did an import of java.util, which means the utility class, .scanner. All right. Now I have input javax, and don't worry about javax. Javax means swing, which means new GUI type of stuff, .j option pane. All right. Then we replaced all those scanner statements with J option pane show input dialog. If they were strings, I could do them directly. If they were not strings, I had to use an intermediate value, which was input str, and then I had to parse it, which means convert it. This means convert what was in what I put into that box into a byte, what I put into that box into a boolean, what I put into that box into an integer, what I put into that box into a double, what I put into that box into a double. All right. Then I created an output string that had everything that I had been working with. All right. And I ended up then using a show message dialog. So it's show input dialog when you're inputting, show message dialog when you're outputting. And I kept the system.out stuff in here anyway. All right. The one thing to realize, if you look right here, is that's 50-50, no overtime. So in the next chapter that we go through, in fact, the first thing I want to do here is I want to grab all of this. I'm going to grab my entire main again. Again, as mentioned, just so I don't have to keep typing this stuff in over and over again. Whoops. And paste that back in. All right. That's all fine. All right. I'm not worried about how things are lined up or anything else. That looks fine to me. Okay. So one more time, I'm going to come back in one last time and do a file, save all. Then I'm going to do a file, close project. All right. I'm going to come back to my payroll folder, and I'm going to add a new folder here that is called payroll number 03. There'll only be one program, I believe, in this one. All right? And I'll come back to write that one in just a couple moments.